How you doing, everyone? My name is Lawrence, and I'm bringing to you a job opportunity that most people aren't aware of. Um, I'm an aircraft mechanic. Most people are not aware of this uh, job as a viable source of income, and why would they be? This isn't something that anyone pushes or anything like that. I was fortunate enough to be aware of this myself at a young age because my family was into it, and that's how I got into it. But yeah, most people don't know, and then they went and they pushed. They tried to get rid of trades, and they pushed other things like computers and stuff like that, which is not bad. But a lot of people are losing their jobs because of AI. This is one of those jobs that AI can't really replace. I mean, at least not yet. There's no robot that can go out to a plane and change a tire, or to even check and see if a tire is low, or if there's a leak. Robot can't find a fuel leak or hydraulic leak. It can't find an electrical component that's burnt out. And a lot of mechanics, we use our senses. We use our sense of smell. We use our sense of um, we use our sense of sight, and our sense of feel to figure out things as well, and our sense of hearing. A robot just can't do that. AI can't do that. Not right now. So yeah, a lot of people just aren't aware of this, and it's a good paying job. Okay, so let's talk about that. Um, Being an aircraft mechanic, starting pay used to be where I worked at. It used to be $75,000 to start. Now we have all gotten raises since then, so it should be about, I don't know exactly what the number is, but it should be around at least 80,000, to start per year, which is not bad at all. Um, so to become an aircraft mechanic, you have to go to what they call an A&P school. So that's what you want to look for. A&P stands for airframe and power plant. The airframe, and you need both licenses to work at the airlines. The airframe is the body of the aircraft. You need to be licensed to work on that. The power plant is the engines on the aircraft. You need to be licensed to work on that as well. Um, I work for American Airlines, by the way, and I can speak on how much they are paying and offering, but I can't tell you what any of these other airlines are paying, starting pay, or what they're paying on the regular basis. You'll have to do your own research to find out, that. I just don't know. But to become aircraft mechanic, you have to go to school for at least 2 years. Okay, for these 2 years, you have to physically be in class. You can't, it's not an online thing. You have to be in class per the FAA. You have to have all of your hours. There's no way around that. Even if you miss some hours, whether you're late or sick that day or whatever, you have to come in and you have to make those hours up. So it's yeah, aviation is federally regulated, and we have to abide by the rules, even in school. So yeah, it's a 2-year program, and when you come out, you will have your airframe and power plant license. There's a 150 question test, and there's a oral and a practical that you have to pass. So after you take the written multiple question test, the oral and practical, the oral is just the examiner is going to ask you a bunch of different questions, and the practical, they're going to ask you to perform a few different tasks, and you have to be able to show that you have knowledge of those things. So when you do when you pass all those tests, you'll get you get a passing score from the FAA, and I believe the passing score is 80, and you'll get your license in the mail from the FAA once you pass those tests. So, let's see, what's another thing we can talk about? Oh, well, there's a lot of baby boomers that are leaving the airlines, so this is something you should be aware of. Also, this isn't just for mechanics, aircraft mechanics, but this is for pilots also. And for those of you that are interested in becoming a pilot, or you think that might be something for you. So, you have to be in class, and I believe that's a 3-year program. I'm not sure, but you have to physically be in class for that also. So back to the airlines. There's a lot of people, a lot of baby boomers that are retiring. They all got hired around the same time, the same age. They're the same age, and it's just about that time for them. So within the next 4 or 5 years, there's going to be a lot of people retiring, and because of that, there's going to be a huge void in aviation. So that's a big opportunity for you guys. I mean, even if you weren't aware of this, you are now if you're watching this video, and this is something that you can take advantage of. Also, aviation's been in the news a lot, so I'm sure you guys are aware of all the incidents that's been happening. My condolences and my prayers are going out to the families of those people that were involved in the incidents and didn't survive. Horrible thing that happened. But what I want you to do is use this as a positive, and take a positive away from this, and use this to build a career. So this being a 2-year course to become an aircraft mechanic, I can't think of any other industry where you can become, where you just go to school for 2 years and you don't necessarily have to get a degree, and with just a license you come out making $80,000 a year. That's wild. That's wild. And things aren't like they were a long time ago. When I became an aircraft mechanic, aircraft mechanics were a dime a dozen, and they weren't hiring right off the bat. So, these days they are hiring, because there is a need for aircraft mechanics. They are hiring students right out of school, right out of class, and you're going to the airlines. So, I mean, this is a great time, and that need is only going to get more intense. They're going to need even more people when all these older mechanics start leaving. So that's something to keep in mind. So there's a window. There is a window, and I don't want you guys to miss this window. Now, the window is actually going to be, we're going to have people leaving within the next 4 or 5 years, but that's like all around, not just from one airline, but from a lot of airlines. So that's going to leave I'm thinking it's going to leave a void for the next 10 or 15 years to be filled. So that's definitely something that that you guys need to look into. What else can I tell you? Looking at my notes. All right, so what other useful information can I tell you guys? All right, so I mentioned you don't necessarily have to have a degree. Now, I actually did get a degree, and you can get a degree if you want. I got as much education as I could. Now, that will help you out later on if you want to become a supervisor or something like that. But not, you don't need it to become an aircraft mechanic. I got it just to say, hey, I'm here, I'm on the mat, you know, I'm serious about what I'm doing. But you don't necessarily need a degree. You can go through the class, get your license, come out and start making money as soon as you get hired. There's actually one young man that I know. He went to school here in Chicago, and then he graduated. After he graduated from school, they hired American Airlines hired him, and so he went straight from school to working at a major airline, which is not bad. So, good for him. All right, so I'm gonna make another video also. I don't want to give my background story just yet. You know, in the same video that I'm telling you guys about, you know, all this information. I want to set a good foundation and let you guys know what's going on. You know, you guys may not be interested at all. I don't know. You know, some of you will be, some of you won't be. You know, aviation isn't for everyone. That's just how it is. But either way, I want you guys to be successful in your endeavors. What I can tell you is that aviation has been good to me, you know, for the most part. I'm able to take care of myself. I'm able to you know, put a roof over my head. I'm able to have good transportation. I'm able to buy well, I have a property, which is great. If I was working for the airlines, I don't know if I would have been able to do that. And things are only looking better, so I feel really blessed. And I believe if this is something that you're interested in, this will be beneficial to you also. One thing that helped me was that I'm good with my hands. So if you're good with your hands, if you ever taken anything apart, you don't even necessarily had to have had a class, but it helps if you had a class like auto mech or, you know, something like that. Anything you know, that you did working with the hands, like I said, even taking things apart, if you're curious about that. And one thing I like about this job is that I'm not, you know, just stuck in the office, you know, all the time. I actually work outside. I work outside at the terminal where the people get on the planes. And yeah, it's cold, you know, but I just dress warm. It's cold sometimes. Sometimes it's, you know, warm. I dress appropriately then. So you just, you know, make your adjustments and roll with it. But it's better than being stuck in the office all the time, right? And I've done that before as well. So I'll talk about that, you know, in future videos. Also, I mean, there are so many different avenues that you can take with this with the airlines. It's incredible. So that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna just leave this here for you guys, and if you guys have any questions that you want me to answer, let me know. Just put that down in the comments, and you know, I can make a video or answer those questions to the best of my ability. So I don't really know about too many schools outside of where I live at. I know about the schools here. I went to school in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I know there's a school in Florida, Embry-Riddle, Fortunately, I didn't go there because I probably wouldn't have gotten much work done with the beach being right next to me. So I think I made the best choice. So yeah, just let me know what you guys think. If this is something that you're interested in, give me a like, maybe subscribe, hit the notifications so you can be aware of the next video. But this is I just wanted to bring this to your attention. This is really a underrated job, underrated high-paying job, and like I said, it will be to your advantage to jump on board now as soon as you can. As soon as you can. So even if you have to go to school for 2 years, the window is going to be open longer than 2 years. It's going to be open longer than 4 years. It's going to be open for a while. I'm saying a good 10, 15 years, possibly 20 years. So you have time. You have time. But now is the time to make the move. And what you do now is what's going to set you up in the future. I see a lot of young people that are not all of them. Some people know what they want to do, but there's some of them that don't know what they want to do. They don't, they may not have the money necessarily that they want to have, or that they need to have, or resources that they need to have. And I'm presenting this to you guys to this is a resource. This is a resource. I mean, this is going to help you out in the long run. However much it costs to go to school, making $80,000, you can pay that back. I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but so starting pay is around about $80,000, right? After, and this might be an important thing, so I don't want to leave this out. After about 5 years working at the airlines, and I can only speak of the airlines I'm working for. I don't know how they do it anyplace else. But after about 5 years of working for the airlines, you get a big raise. You get a really big raise, and you end up making 6 figures. Let me say that again. After 5 years of working for the airlines, that's after you get starting pay of $80,000, you're making 6 figures. You get a really big raise, and you're making 6 figures. You can't beat that. You can't beat that. And the job only gets easier because after about 5 years, you're seasoned. So you kind of know what's going on. You got your feet wet. A lot of things become second nature to you. So you got things in gear and you're rolling. So it's not as bad as it is when you first start. And that's probably why they pay you a little bit more. When you first start, it's a big learning phase. You have to get used to everything. You have to get used to paperwork. You have to get used to computer. Looking stuff up in the computer. You have to get used to. When I say looking stuff up in the computer, I mean you got to look through the manuals. You have to look through. You have to look up parts. There's various things that you have to look up in the computer. We don't use books anymore. Everything's electronic. Even the logbooks on the plane. Every plane has a logbook, and they have to log. The pilots have to log each of their flights. And as mechanics, we have to log everything that we do, maintenance-wise, in the book. So most of the books are gone off of these planes. It's all electronic. So we're doing all of this in the computer now, which is kind of odd for me, because I've been doing logbooks for years and years and years. But I mean, it's not a big deal, and we've been doing that for a few years at the company I work for, and it's just another day. It's you get used to it. That's another thing about aviation, is that there's so many changes, like, all the time. So the paperwork that we do, on a daily basis, I always take a look at it, because I could take I may have a few days off, and then I come back the next week and everything is different, or maybe they made one little change or 2 or 3 little changes in the paperwork. So I'm always looking at the paperwork, because they're always changing stuff. And that's the constant, is that, you know, I can tell you that there are always going to be changes and stuff in aviation. So I'm gonna leave you guys with that. Like I said, leave a like, leave some comments, ask me some questions, and hopefully I can answer your questions. Uh, mark your notifications and subscribe. Thanks for listening. Have a good day.